It's time for This Month in the World of Marketing, although we have changed the name, but you'll see that next week. And that's exciting. So we're missing someone, as you can see, from the square blob that is supposed to be Greg. Yes. Anyway, I'm Pip, Seymour Digital Media, and this is... Pick one, anyone? Popcorn!
Phelan with Seymour Digital Media.
And I'm Rena Little from Little Works Indie Media. And Greg says he's sorry he can't be on the call because he's with a client call that went over. So we'll see if he can jump in later.
Yeah. So we're
Likely
going to leave him blank. Yeah, likely story. So we have lots of news today, and this is our news catch-up for search, social, and websites. And we've all been, we all know the news is really overwhelming, so we might just stick to the marketing news, which is less overwhelming, but it's whelming. I think it's whelming. What do you? Because it's not underwhelming, I wouldn't say. Where do y'all want to start today? Do you want to start search, social, or websites? We could just.
I was going to start with SEO because there was the results of the March algorithm update for Google. And so it's kind of continuing a lot of trends that already were existing, right? Like do good content, try not to have it fully AI. There was a lot of forums apparently got downranked, and then a lot of big prominent existing sites like Reddit got a really big boost, which is not.
Isn't Reddit like Reddit? Reddit's like a forum though, kinda. It's its own kind of forum.
But it's a more regulated type of forum, right? There's definitely constraints and a lot of mods, and so there's because again they have like the least amount of AI on their platform of any of the major social media platforms.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So we're seeing that Google has lost some ranking with all the AI coming out, and we're now seeing things in like Google Analytics where we're seeing like ChatGPT and Perplexity and
excellent.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
so I mean.
So
we heard a comment from a client this week that they got recommended to not make content anymore. And we were kind of shocked because there's so much content, but it has to be good content, which can't just be AI, which I think a lot of people are starting to just depend on. You do have to edit your AI, and how-to posts are really good. And you can't really, like, if you're going to have images like screenshots, that's definitely good content, right? So you'll end up showing up in, I think, ChatGPT and Perplexity and Gemini and things. I'm digging Gemini right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. It's like it's going to take a while for people to shift how they organize themselves when they're on Google, I think. So I still think that there's some ability in there. I agree with you, though. I'm wondering what all of those companies that did the really cheap blog articles, pumping 4 out every month or however many, and they would be terrible. They were terribly written anyways because they were all pulled from the web. So when one of my clients posted, they had an SEO company doing blogs, and we were also doing blogs, and they were clearly writing for Google, not for people, because it was events to do in Vancouver. It was published in December, and it had October Halloween things and Chinese New Year things that wasn't even timely. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was very bizarre.
That is very bizarre. Those posts can work.
They can. Sure, they can, but they have to be done well. And but they're also not very good for readers. And here's the thing. What happens to all of those companies that were doing that sort of fast and dirty? Because it does take a little bit more time to
fast and dirty
create.
Blogging.
Yeah, it takes a little more time and effort to create, and connection with your client to create valuable articles for them, I find. Don't you? Or am I just...
Oh, yeah. No. We were doing blogging we're for a brokerage, and we were doing local lander pages. And they really worked well. But you have to have an in-depth knowledge of area. You want to get images that are of the area. You want to speak to things in the area, right? Like, and link to
really contextually related, like relevant is what I meant. Yeah.
And so it's so hard to like just get a AI to write that. I mean, you might get some information and it might be good information, but you need to source it. You need to check with the client. Like, it's not just willy-nilly content. And that content really works. Like, I mean, but so does content. Like, I mean, it's area specific too. Like writing about the best dog parks in the area. You're going to show up on people's radars if they have dogs, right? And they're looking for that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also the AIs are averaging machines, right? That's how they work.
Yes, that's the other thing.
They find a statistical average of when this word happens, this is contextually what would happen next. It doesn't do edge case. It doesn't do weird stuff that you would need.
Yeah, that's a really good point to keep in mind.
Yeah, like you got to know how it operates, like in order for you to use it properly. And a case like a local lander page, like you're just going to have an advantage. Like it's like a long tail keyword in SEO. You're going for something hyper specific, hyper unique, so that maybe 100 people a month that are looking for that, they find exactly that one thing. It's harder. But the rewards I think are there, because anything with Google with SEO that's a shortcut is like you're one algorithm update away from getting wiped out. Yeah. Generally, Google's really good at clearing that out.
Right. Okay, cool. So we should probably head on to some of the other topics now.
Well, no, wait. I want to talk about SEO forever. Oh sorry. No, I know. Is there more to say? But I know we have to move on. I mean, we don't have to talk about websites, but we should. Like, it looks like AI is just bleeding into everything, right? So it's a subcategory of every category. Right. Exactly. So I don't think I have more to say about SEO other than like, I did want to mention.
I do. There's a I find this to be a controversial statement that was put out by Google's SEO advocate. He's like he does YouTubes and does like open offices. Martin Split. And so he was saying that he warns against doing redirects to your homepage. So he was saying that
what?
You should just
I saw that.
Yeah, and so which is
I found it interesting because you definitely like, who loves landing on a 404 page? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it's one of those ones where you kind of get his argument, but at the same time, I'm just like, why would you want something to redirect to a broken page?
Well,
but I don't think was that what he was saying? Because I thought what he meant was send them somewhere else other than a home page.
No, he also said don't try to do the
don't fix them.
Yeah, he was saying that the reason, unless you have you've merged it with something else, and so now it's like a new article with something else. But if it's something that's like kind of close, he was saying to not do that. But I don't know.
Really?
It feels icky.
It does feel icky because I don't like the stops. At least get them to somewhere that's relevant and similar.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's
a pain.
The dead stops are a pain. And I mean, if the content's no longer there, I mean, does it always create it's always going to create like a jump back when you find a 404 page. But if you land on an article that is similar or an updated article that's just been redirected, I don't think that's a bad thing. So, I mean, we'll see. He might be an advocate, but, we know.
Yeah. Because, I mean, honestly, the thing that bugs me the most is when people bucket all of their 301 redirects when they've changed from Squarespace to WordPress and they throw everything to the homepage.
At the homepage.
I feel like that's just sloppy work. That's just not, and that's not helpful at all.
Yeah. So we should say hi to Greg before we get into it. So, Greg, how was your meeting?
It was
Tell the world.
Long and
perfect.
Who knows where it will go, but
yeah. Well, good on you for putting your clients first. We love that.
It was a random call at like the worst time, and he's a talker, so So, I
And hopefully he's not watching now.
think,
Or if he is, he knows he's a
definitely
talker.
not watching now.
We surpassed the website portion because you weren't here, but we
Yeah, that's
started out with SEO. But Irina wanted to jump topics super quick, so I guess we'll have to come back to Google Ads. But Rena, take it from here.
Oh, that's not what I meant, but okay. There are a few things that have come up on my radar. First of all, yay, Meta's putting ads in Facebook notifications. I'm sure we're all thrilled with that. That's going to mess up everybody's push notifications, and if you get emails with your notifications, that's just going to create a whole bunch of muck, in my
Who
opinion.
gets emails with their
I'm
notifications? Don't they just go into your? I
No,
don't know.
you
I
can
turn
set
them
it, you
off.
can set it up. Yeah, I turn them off too, but there are some people that don't, and then they get frustrated because there's so many emails from Facebook. But so this is just going to make it even more pleasant. I think this is maybe a mistake. We'll see how long it lasts. Um, and then, there was another thing on Meta. Um, they're doing value optimization for ads to that click to Messenger. Now, sorry, let me re-say that. A value optimization for ads that click to Messenger are now available globally for eligible advertiser. So what this feature does is it allows advertisers to optimize campaigns for a total purchase value instead of the number of purchases, helping to maximize your ROI by focusing on high value conversions. So that's pretty interesting. I got this just in the email this morning, so I'm pretty excited to see what that looks like. So what you would do is you would just choose your new performance goal option as maximize value of purchase through messaging. If you do run ads and you have a business manager account, then you'll find this in your inbox also. And then the second thing that I thought was really, there were a few things that came in that email, but the second one I thought was really interesting was that they have a new post click experience on Facebook Reel ads. So what they're doing is now when somebody clicks on your ads caption, your landing page is displayed. So this update makes it easier for people to engage with your ads and seamlessly access your website, enhancing their shopping experience. So I thought that was pretty cool. I haven't seen it myself yet, but I'm going to be looking for it for sure. So those two things I thought were my favorite Meta things. And then the TikTok ban, of course, is coming up on April 5th unless it's bought out. And I think that Phelan has something to say about that a little bit later. But for now, that means that that advertisers have been a bit wishy-washy, which means that the cost of advertising on TikTok has gone way down. So that's been
Oh,
pretty interesting. Yeah. So let's see, what am I saying?
TikTok's good for selling products and hitting. There are Gen X's on there. There's Gen Z. There's Millennial.
Yeah.
And I think there's some Boomers even.
Oh yeah, tons of boomers and lots of Gen X. Those are mostly who I follow. I've got some millennials on my feed too. The ad agency Jellyfish reported a 30% to 35% drop in CPMs as low as $4.
Wow. I
And
wonder what the
then
keywords were.
yeah, and
CPMs.
then
Views.
Tanuti, I can't read it very well. Tanuti recorded a 40% year-over-year drop of CPMs, and Y Promote saw a 25% year-over-year decline. So that's pretty interesting. So if you want to spend some money in the next couple of weeks, I would recommend TikTok.
Yeah, might save you some. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, well, I'd hurry over to TikTok depending on my business and do some ads for sure. All right, try them. Do they have, I haven't used TikTok ads as of yet. We've used some organic posting, and it's very hard to get much reporting on that. So,
Yes.
Yeah,
but
the tools are not fully built out for doing it from a business
No.
perspective. I find it's like if you're an influencer and you're like spending most of your time on your phone, I find that the tools are pretty good there. But as soon as you have to like use a desktop or anything like that, then the tools really start to fall apart. Like there's no, and the integrations are kind of limited. Like
Yeah.
Shopify has a purpose-built one that's supposedly pretty good, It's not as good as the native built one in the China version. Apparently, that's like really good, very seamless. But
Okay.
China also has WeChat.
I just got a weird notification, just so you know, that my disk space is full and I only have a few minutes. So if we do cut out, that'd be why.
Interesting.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm emptying trash now. So I don't know. I got back. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I've been away.
Yeah.
And so I came back and my computer's a little bit like, whoa, you're a lot. So I'll try to delete some of the things while I'm here, because they don't matter.
The recordings probably will be ones that we don't need.
Yeah, like 2024.
Yeah, I'd say just
Fine.
comes to mind. Yeah, and so the TikTok, I think, also I'm interested to see what the dynamics are with TikTok in relation to like Canada, because if they sell off, they're only supposed to sell off TikTok US, and so the parent company ByteDance would still be operating for us in Canada, I believe. That's my understanding, is that they're not going to change anything that in relation to us unless it runs through a US data, like a server in the States. Then
Yeah, I
we'd be
don't know how they
subject
would separate that. Like, would we be on a different version of the platform, or would we just have Canadian information on some other server compared to American?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm thinking
Yeah.
that it's probably based on the server, right? That actually serves the app, like the app to
Right.
us. Like when you go
Right.
log in and it goes to reach out to a server. My guess is that's where that server's located. Majority of our servers outside of like Moneris's that are like or Canadian government stuff that needs to be housed in Canada.
Well, when the last TikTok ban was coming in, did you see what happened? I mean, it was only down for 6 hours in the States, but a lot of
Yeah.
Canadians and Commonwealth country people started connecting.
Yeah, it was
Right?
actually
And that was
a little bit of
really
a
fun.
moment. Yeah, it was a fun
Yeah.
moment, that's for sure. It just sort of really made us understand how much American culture is infiltrating everywhere, how dominant it ends up being. So
Well,
that was really fun.
I mean,
Oh,
I make the joke that I always say is that it's actually Canadian culture that is dominant in the world because so many Canadians enter into American entertainment that
true.
it's really like it's
That's
Canadian.
true.
Like
That's true.
we're actually the ones that are divulging like their culture, and it's one of those funny things of just like we try to think of it. It's like no, we're like separate. It's like no, we just like go down there and infiltrate into all their industries that
over.
like, create the culture, and then we're like then receive it back. And it's like oh, it's American, but it's like really not. It's just us like on a feedback loop with ourselves.
That's
And
true. The only thing that I noticed that I didn't like about the ban was that there wasn't enough content being produced to satiate my appetite.
yeah,
Oh, interesting. So yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, most of the main platforms, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, are all American, right? Like if we actually stopped supporting American products, we wouldn't be on social media, I don't think.
Well, we would be on some others. There is actually a Canadian social media app in the works. I got that served to me as an ad yesterday, and
Ooh.
I don't know much about that, so I'm going to look into that and get back to us next time. But and then also I realized Spotify's not social media, but I get to keep it. So
Isn't it American?
no,
it's Swedish.
yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
We trust the Swedes. They're only going to blow up things in their area. Is it the Swedes? It
I
isn't the
don't even know
Swedes
you- I don't
that
know what
who
you're
has
talking
all the
about.
bombs from
You're thinking of
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
The
Never mind.
Swedish
Okay.
are like the uber neutral guys who just like want
Uber
to.
neutral misogynist. I didn't realize that they didn't give women the vote until 1971. I just
That's
found that out
also
yesterday.
Switzerland. That's also Switzerland.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Switzerland. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of
not
upsetting.
Sweden. The Sweden,
No.
they did.
Yeah,
Okay,
they did
okay.
earlier.
Back to marketing because marketing's way more fun. So TikTok's a place to go, is what we learned if you're wanting to put ad dollars somewhere. Facebook's
Sure,
doing
yeah.
more AI stuff. Is that what you were saying?
No, this isn't. I don't think this is AI stuff. This is just changes in their
Yeah.
ads. So
I think
People
they're
find
like
changes.
they're like
Real.
Google ads, right? So if they have something new, that's what you want to do because they promote
Yeah.
it, push it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And what is there anything happening on Instagram or what's going
Wait,
on there?
there's one other piece of news related to the TikTok is who's going to be purchasing it, which is
Oh yeah.
Oracle.
Yeah.
So Larry, and if you've watched any statements from Larry Ellison of what he wants to do with the platform, it's a little unnerving.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's
Who is this
very
guy?
much. Larry Ellison is the CEO of Oracle. He's like worth $100 billion. Like he's insanely wealthy, and
How'd he get
wants to-
wealthy?
by running Oracle. Oracle is basically. Yeah, no, he made a lot of money. Basically, Oracle is very connected to CIA, Department of Defense. Like that's who their top purchasers are of their warehousing. So, yeah, and they've talked about tapping into every camera in the United States to get data to feed into the AI. And
Cool.
so, I
Well,
don't think that's practical, but it's definitely one
sounds
where I
messy.
kinda yeah, it raises. I get a raised eyebrow when I hear stuff like that, but it's so that's why I'm like concerned about like if you log into TikTok, whose server is that going into, which would be interesting. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of the big one of the news. We'll see how it shakes out. There's the courts have already litigated that it can go through, so
Wow.
we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
but so TikTok's staying, and
It's staying. It's who's in control of your data. That's really the brass tacks about like what's difficult about or how it's all going to
yes,
go.
you'll have to keep us posted because that is, I mean, that was the public concern, was it not? Initially,
That was the government concern.
Yeah.
That
and
was
so
the government concern.
so with Oracle, I mean, it's just the government getting all the data.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
or-
it's the American government getting all the data versus,
Or
what was
military
happening. We didn't
contractor.
really know. Yeah.
Like
Military
that's how I
contractor.
look at them. It's like Boeing or one of those like giant manufacturers getting a hold of all your data. That's kind of the way I think of it. So do with that what you will. We'll keep you abreast if like as soon as we know more.
Oh.
We'll definitely pass.
There was
I do
one
know a
more
lot of
piece
people that won't go on
information.
TikTok. Oh, what's
Yeah,
that, Rena?
totally. Speaking of data, 23andMe filed for
Oh,
bankruptcy
yeah.
on the weekend. And so if you have your data on, if you did this thing where you have your data with them, now's the time to delete your data. There's, if you Google delete your 23andMe data on Chrome, you will get the step-by-step instructions on how to do that because we don't know who if they're going to sell to somebody. That was the thing that might happen, and who's going to end up with that data again. So if you are concerned, especially I would be very concerned about my DNA being somewhere. It's like I don't think I would like that very much.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, I never
so-
did it.
I did
No, I didn't either.
23andMe, and I'm in the process of downloading all my data before I delete my account.
Yeah. But do
Um,
they still have your DNA somewhere, or do they delete? Do they?
As of right now, yes, because I haven't fully gotten all of my
No,
data.
I understand, but I mean, you sent them a piece of a saliva sample, right? Like, where's that saliva sample? Is what I'm asking.
They have it, and when you delete your account or you go through that process, you can
Oh, I
ask them
see.
to destroy it,
Oh, I
and then
see. Good.
and then you delete your.
And we
your
trust
account.
that they're going to do that.
Well,
You do trust that you're going to do it, yeah. They're gonna- sure.
I've
gosh.
heard that they're actually because they've had to do cost cutting measures. I had heard that their storage of like actual DNA, like not like the encoded in a computer, but the actual DNA, they weren't very good at storing it long term, and
Oh,
a bunch
so
of
maybe
it
Well, that's probably
accidentally was
good.
destroyed by accident.
Well,
Isn't
hopefully.
that interesting? And they won't let us. I just tried to post an article because I'm Canadian. I can't post the article I was going to post on how to delete your data from 23andMe because we're not allowed to have.
Maybe I'll put that on my blog and then post it.
Oh,
That's
perfect. That'd be great.
Okay.
Some good links. Well, that's fun. So delete your data, delete your data, delete your data.
Yeah.
I did 23 like 12 years ago.
Yeah,
It was a
I
long
think
time.
same here. It's like it was so
You did
long
it?
ago. I didn't.
I'm
I did it at my
stunned,
grandmother.
Phelan.
No, my grandmother
Just
bought it.
stunned.
I didn't.
Stunned. I was like, whoa. Yeah, that's a nice grandma.
Well, it's the one that does all the genealogy stuff, right? Who
Yeah.
has my whole
Oh, I
family tree.
see.
That's why
I
she
see.
was interested in doing it, because she wanted to see how accurate she was with her genealogy as well. It had
I
a
see.
two for reason that she does it, because she does family trees.
Yes,
So
that makes sense. Now, speaking of nothing to do with marketing, let's go back to marketing. You guys are hard to wrangle. But
You've just
I mean,
been
it's
gone and have forgot. You've forgotten. You've been gone.
now. Are there any website things we need to know about? Nothing. Websites are all golden. Oh, besides the core update.
no, there's a quote, because we're all talking about WordPress's future with Matt Mullenweg, and he gave a quote saying he doesn't, when talking about succession, like him not being part of WordPress, that he said he doesn't want to go to a committee. He wants it to go to like an individual person, which
Whoa.
I don't think that's a good idea personally, but that's just me.
I knew somebody who chose not to go with WordPress recently because of the issues. And I
Really?
thought that they went with Webflow, and I actually asked. I was
Oh,
like, "Ooh,
God.
why Webflow?"
That's a disaster. I just got it. This is what I got from my client yesterday. I'm going to paraphrase. I can't believe I can't afford your website. I can't believe I have to be on Webflow. I know I'm not speaking to a real person, and this is so frustrating. I'm so glad you're so helpful. That's what I got. It was like this long rant by text. I'm like, I'm sorry. So Webflow
Well,
support is primarily AI based. So
Mm.
it doesn't always understand, unless you understand the language to speak to an AI to get the information you're looking for, you might not end up getting the information that you need. So it can be quite frustrating. And it has, from what I've seen, and maybe you guys actually know more about this, it has incredibly limited ability to adjust SEO. You only got one meta description for all your pages the last time I was working on
oh,
one. Yeah.
that's not
Yeah. So
good.
that, I don't know if that's changed because I think it may have been a year or so ago, probably about that. But that's what somebody used, and they wanted me to do their SEO, so it was really easy.
Yeah,
That's
that's
terrible, though,
I
right? Because
know.
put that through Screaming Frog, and your site gets like deranked, right?
that's
That's right.
it's like buying like a Rivian car. Like, well, why are you buying like a first generation vehicle? Like, that's like they have definitely not ironed out all the works. Like,
No.
don't switch over
Yeah.
to it when it's like stable and they
Yeah.
fully built
And
out
the
everything.
company's not going to go bankrupt.
Bingo,
That's the
yeah,
other
because like
thing. Why would you put all your money? I mean, the fact of the matter is people don't have any money that are going to Webflow. That's the point. So I guess they're expecting to
Is
be able to build a different website later.
is Webflow inexpensive?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Because we never recommend Webflow. Greg, do you
No.
recommend Webflow?
No.
Oh, good.
Solid
It would be
no.
really embarrassing if you said yes after all that.
Yes, Webflow is amazing. No, I haven't recommended Webflow. And I mean, I do all of my clients' sites, and I do everything in WordPress. If someone doesn't want WordPress, they go somewhere else. I don't do it. So
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
I think
And since we're
Webflow for me is more for designers and less so for the
Yeah.
actual end client.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually come up. It's really funny just to mention this is depending on the different businesses you work with, they have different systems, and as you get deeper into the marketing realm, I mean, you're dealing with people who are attaching their customer management systems to their content management systems. We see that with like HubSpot, but then you also have like these weird third-party things that people are using, and there's so many out there. I think we are. Greg, you work with a flower shop company. We've started working with a flower shop company, and they have like their own flower shop website, CMS. It's really neat.
It's specifically for florists, and it's it's called Flora Next.
And they won't let us put any code or any. Yeah,
I'm not surprised because the floral industry is huge, and I think a lot of them try to tap into the larger floral organizations to provide the flowers locally.
Yeah.
So maybe is it that type of a system where they're actually tapped into something else and they can fulfill orders locally?
I think it might be
larger flower organizations.
No, it's like it's one of those ones where they just built it custom for specific to like florists of like how to like generate purple. It seems I don't really understand what it's solving. Like what's it's like. It's different differentiation other than they say that they're for florists specifically, but they're really just like it's e-commerce with some CMS or CRM of like handling proposals and stuff like that. And
yeah, it's interesting.
It doesn't seem like super like unique in any sort of way. Like a Shopify or a WooCommerce should definitely handle it. I think that there's just more workflow stuff that they've like built in the workflow, and so that makes it easy for someone to just pick it up off the shelf and do it. The person we're working with is specifically like local, like doesn't have, she fulfills specifically for our nearby area. And so she's not like a 1-800 florist type situation where she gets like a rank and rent type method. But yeah, there's lots of CMSs out there, and pick something boring and stable, people.
The thing about custom CMSs is they don't get updated or have further development unless it's a custom CMS from a company that is maintaining it. Is that the case?
There's a company with the support team. It's like a Squarespace type situation.
I have a customer that I'm dealing with right now who their website is offline because back 13 or 14 years ago, they chose to do a custom CMS, which has not changed in the last 13 or 14 years, and now has just given up. So their website is gone.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that happens. It's a lot. Well, it's funny because I think one of the main things we learned before we go is that when you're launching a website, I think lots of people think it needs to be perfect when your website's like a living, breathing thing that gets updated and changed every week, every day, depending on what you're doing, or every month. So it's not just a stagnant. It doesn't need to be perfect out of the gate, but, getting something out there or up is important. Rena, I know you had a last thing to say, and then we got a jet because we're overtime.
I did? I don't think I had.
I do. I do.
Oh.
Something very important.
What's that?
Annotations are back for Google Analytics.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that like pretty much every person who uses Google Analytics was like, why is this not being ported over? Very important for just tracking when there's algorithm updates, when you do certain things to websites, when you do major changes, having them all tracked so you can see what might be causing it, the big change. So very excited about that.
Yeah, that is exciting news.
That is exciting. Do you all know, it's all tracking, and that's a good time because then we can really measure things, right? Which is nice. Again, thank you. Mm-hmm. Now, do you all know what's happening next week? It will be April 3rd. And it looks like it's Rena and I, and we're talking about AI disruption and transforming search and social media for marketers. Yeah.
That's
that
right.
should be a really good one.
See you next week.
I guess
See you next week.
That's not what was in the banner.
No.
Ruh-roh.
Anyway, we'll talk about this on the side. I think it's in the banner. Is it in the banner now?
Nope.
Is the new banner up? Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's how AI is changing search and social media landscape. So same, just more chompy
Worded
topic.
differently.
Tidally. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the word same always reminds me of Thailand, just so you know, because that's like one of the kind of slangs. So you having the same breakfast, same? You're like, oh, yeah. Anyway, okay, see y'all next week for a wonderful talk about AI, which should be super fun. And we'll probably be playing with some camera things too. Okay, bye.